Good day, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Complete Sports Update, where we will be bringing to you the latest and trending stories in the world of sports. I am Abib Koranga, and I have with me
Adeboye Amosu.
the 2023-24 English Premier League season commenced on Friday. The defending champions Manchester City recorded a resounding 3-0 victory over Burnley at the Turf Moor. Victor Osimhen ready to sign new Napoli contract. The 24-year-old Nigerian towering striker has agreed to a €12 million contract at the Napoli. Chelsea completes Moises Caicedo signing. The 21-year-old Ecuadorian midfielder seals a dream move to the Stamford Bridge after Chelsea agreed a record-breaking £115 million with Brighton for the young midfielder. These are some of the stories making up the rounds in the sporting scene. So, Boye, welcome to the show once more. The 2023-24 English Premier League season began on Friday with Manchester City, playing, making the trip down to Turf Moor to play against Burnley. They recorded 3-0 victory. So, so far so good in the match week 1 of the English Premier League season. Who do you think, or how do you think the performances have been so far?
Well, it was a wonderful weekend of action. Football lovers around the world, we've been starved of quality football all summer. So it was a welcome relief to have the EPL back. And no real surprises for me because all the big teams won. So I would say it was an exciting weekend of football action.
So with the game week 1 now, who are your picks? The clubs to finish in the top 4 this season, preferably your champions.
Well, I think it's still early days, in my own opinion, because in the past we used to talk about the top 4 when you have the likes of Manchester United, you have Chelsea, you have Arsenal, and Liverpool. But later we move on to the top 6. You have the likes of Manchester City and Tottenham gate crashing and making it the top 6. Last season we saw the likes of Newcastle United, we saw Brighton playing so well. They gave the so-called top 6 teams real tough time in the league. So I think it's still early days. And if you look at the performance of Newcastle United against Aston Villa, we saw what Brighton did to Luton Town, that's the new boys in town. And if you look at the performance of Chelsea too against Liverpool, I would say it's still early days. So probably as the season goes on, we can really say, okay, these are the teams that will make it to the top 4.
Yeah, definitely. You can always retract your statement back, but just your top 4, just give it out.
Well, the usual suspects, you give it to Manchester City. Well, Arsenal did well last season with the coming of Declan Rice and some other guys. They are surely going to make. I think them to make the top 4. Well, Chelsea are recruited well, so they should make it too. Probably Liverpool.
Okay, so Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool, the top 4. That's actually a bold prediction there for you to meet Manchester United. So let's move to the next one. Victor Osimhen ready to sign new contract at Napoli. The Nigerian striker actually, agrees to a new contract. €12 million, per season, and the release clause into his contract is €150 million. So, the question now is, with Victor Osimhen at this, with that blistering form he finished off last season, if he by chance continues that kind of form this season, do you see any European side actually triggering that release clause by the end of this season?
Well, I think it's a possibility. One of the criticism against Osimhen last season was some analysts felt, well, it was just one season. The experience is not there. Probably that was why the likes of Tottenham went for Hurricane. But I believe if he can match up, exceed that performance next season, I see the likes of probably Chelsea and some other clubs going for him.
Because that amount, to be honest with you, is quite huge. And the last thing that you as a player will be thinking is, for you to move to bigger clubs. No disrespect to Napoli, but that €150 million can be an impeding factor because of that huge amount. And clubs now are falling into the financial fair play because of the huge amount of players they're using to sign players. So that's just how it is, at the moment. And to cap it up, Chelsea, completed the signing of Moises Caicedo, from Brighton and Hove Albion. Actually, it was Liverpool and Chelsea, tussling, here and there for the signature, and Chelsea won the battle because of the players' preference to play for the London club. So now, what impact do you think Moises Caicedo can actually, bring to this current Chelsea side?
Well, I think it's a good signing. We all saw Moises Caicedo in Brighton last season. So losing Kante and having someone like Moises Caicedo in Chelsea, I think it's going to be a big boost for the Blues. And the fact that you allow Enzo to move forward and attack, so I think it's a sign that will impact positively for Chelsea this season.
So now there is also a report, coming out yesterday that they have also, agreed a fee for Romeo Lavia from Southampton. With Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, do you think these three players can actually start, can actually see starting spots at the same time at this current formation of Pochettino? Because I think against Liverpool he used a 3 at the back. He played more like a 3-5-2 formation. Yeah. So with that, do you see Romeo Lavia, Caicedo, and also Enzo Fernandez, slotting in and playing together in the midfield setup?
I think that is for Mauricio Pochettino to answer, but I think it's a formation that could work. If you look at the way Chelsea have recruited this summer, probably the injury to Nkoko probably played a big role in them moving for Bruno Lavia. But there is a possibility of this guy moving forward, playing as a number 10 or number 8, and as Enzo Fernandez. So I think it's something that is achievable. Having the three of them in the same starting lineup is achievable.
Yeah, it's achievable, and we'll very much be hoping to see what Mauricio Pochettino have for the Chelsea faithful. So thank you, Boy, for the nice and wonderful insightful analysis. So now we've come to the end of this week's update. Yeah, we'll be seeing you next week, same time. Bye for now.